Candace Owens is being sued by the Macron family for claiming that Bridget Macron is in fact a man. And I don't understand under what precedent they think they can actually sue Candace Owens for claiming that Bridget Macron is a man. Holy crap, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of context here. Candace Owens has been going off for some time, even while she was at the Daily Wire, claiming that Emmanuel Macron
No, I didn't see that, Tommy.
of France, the president, his wife, is actually a guy. And I think the conspiracy theory is that Bridget Macron is actually her brother and that she's a dude. And for this, I guess the Macrons decided, how can we make this story 1,000 times bigger? I think we should potentially rename the Streisand effect the Candace Owens effect based on how big this story is going to get, because they have filed a lawsuit against one of the biggest personalities in politics and podcasters in the world over this claim, guaranteeing that this will be top-line news everywhere. Let's go, my friends. Smash the like button right now. Share this with everyone you know and subscribe to this channel. It is on. Newsweek reports French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Bridget have filed a defamation suit in the U.S. against conservative influencer Candace Owens over her claims that France's first lady is secretly a man. Now,
She did, though, say that she would stake her entire professional reputation on this. Yeah, you can't do the yawn meme in the chat if I'm not actually tired. I have to be tired, and then it actually makes me yawn. If I'm not tired, it doesn't make me yawn. Can you cover Myron versus Matt Walsh? I already did. I already did that today.
I'm a fan. I like Candace Owens' work, and I am even more of a fan now. Tom Clare of Clare Locke, LLP, who is representing the Macrons, announced the lawsuit in a release on Wednesday, July 23rd. The Macrons filed their 218-page lawsuit, 218 pages, in the Superior Court of the state of Delaware. The lawsuit calls Owens' various claims outlandish, defamatory, and far-fetched fictions, and said they had caused relentless bullying on a worldwide scale.
I mean, but they are, right? I mean, aren't they? Aren't they? I think they actually are pretty. I mean, if you say that a person's, wife is actually a man who's the husband, and then make a bunch of stories about it, and then say that it's 100% true, I'm pretty sure that actually is defamation. I'm pretty confident that that would fall under defamation pretty well.
Doing tremendous damage to the Macrons. You can't sue her for this. There's no damages. You're allowed to think someone's a man. And I got to be honest, based on this story and how they're reacting, I'm starting to think that maybe Bridget Macron actually is a man, because she's not going to, they aren't going to win any money from this case. Owens, a popular right-wing broadcaster, had posted to X in 2024, after looking into this, I would stake my entire professional reputation on the fact that Bridget Macron is in fact a man. What damages do you have? And I would like to introduce the French to the United States First Amendment and Times v. Sullivan, meaning it's a public figure. First, you got to prove that you knew Candace Owens knows you're not a man, which you can't.
Well, you don't really. You just have to prove that she has really good reason not to believe that, which I think you could do. I think you could do that.
What are you going to do? Is Bridget going to be like, I will get nude and show a DNA test to Candace Owens? That would have had to have already happened. Then you've got to prove tangible damages, which you can't do. All she said was you're a guy. And here's the best part about this. What's wrong with being trans? If Bridget Macron is actually born male and is a transgender, then why is that defamatory? I got to say, whether intentionally or not, Candace Owens has just created a pincer move on the woke left in the most fascinating of ways by forcing the Macrons, world leaders, to admit it is defamatory to claim a woman is a man. Therefore, there is something inherently libelous, slanderous, and reputation damaging about being trans.
Well, that all sounds good, but not really. So what the left would say here is, yeah, if you're calling this person by the wrong gender, that's going to be defamatory, right? That's going to be defamation. Is it defamatory? Is that the right word? It's going to be defamation. That's all the left is going to respond with. The left is going to say, what do you mean? We've always had the stance that calling people by the wrong gender is defaming them. You're actually making our point for us, that you think that it's also, right, not great to call these people what they're not. So I don't know where Tim Pool's getting this argument from, but it could be easily turned around and they would just say that. You're not allowed to call people by the wrong gender. That would be defamation. Right? That's what they'll say. So I'm not sure how this is a brilliant pincer attack of any kind. I think that it just makes Candace Owen look really fucking stupid. So I think if millions of people see and by the way, it's a pretty incredible conspiracy that she came up with here. It's pretty incredible. So I don't think that this is going to look good for her in any way when it gets in front of a lot of people, and I'm not sure how it's a brilliant pincer attack. I think that the left will just be like, what do you mean? She doesn't identify as that, and so, of course, it's defamation. That's the whole point. So,
I will say this again. Candace Owens, whether intentionally or otherwise, has the world leaders of France, the leaders of France, of the world leaders, but like world leaders, the leaders of France, stating publicly in a 218-page lawsuit that it is defamatory to claim someone is transgender. What's wrong with being trans? What's damaging about being trans?
They would say nothing. What's damaging is when you call people by the wrong gender, which is the entire point the left always makes. That's what they would say.
Is there something you're trying to say to the world, Macrons? They say that Candace posted an 8-part video series to her YouTube channel titled Becoming Bridget, laying out her claims. Quote, because Mrs. Owens systematically reaffirmed these falsehoods in response to each of our attorneys' repeated requests for a retraction, we ultimately concluded that referring the matter to a court of law was the only remaining avenue for remedy. Is this, I look at this stuff, okay? I look at this stuff, and my only conclusion is that they want people to think Bridget Macron is a man.
What the fuck is he talking about here? I don't know what Tim's talking about here. Candace was in communication with their attorney before the first episode was ever aired and offered to interview Macron, or they could answer questions. So what? Why does Macron need to take time out of... I mean, why do world leaders and people who are prominent in the political spectrum need to make time for podcasters so that they won't run conspiracy theories? Like, this one is a wild one. It's wild. It's more likely to me that Macron's wife was exactly what he says. A chick who wanted a younger man and basically groomed him so that she could bang him. I mean, that seems like it's the most likely. Who would have thought that a teacher would want to bang a younger student who's a female? Gee, I've never seen that before.
This does not help you in any way. You're not going to win money. It's just not going to happen. So why take it to the highest courts where any sane lawyer is going to say you can't sue for this?
But I think you can sue for this. I think you can, and I don't think that his attorneys would have advised him otherwise. You don't know what he's talking about because obviously you're intentionally being obtuse. About what? What am I being intentionally obtuse about? Oh, yeah. What you mean when he said I'm intentionally being obtuse?
Dude, think about all of the actual defamatory things people can say about you, right? They can lie about your political ideology. They can claim that you are a white supremacist.
Yep.
And you'll get fired from your job and say, I have real damages from this. And they'll argue it's an opinion statement. No, hold on. No. If you're not a public figure.
I did watch it. I did watch her investigation. It was complete and utter bullshit. Complete and utter bullshit. 67,000 live viewers. She's doing something right. Yeah, I'm sure she is. She has a much bigger channel than I do. Nobody's disputing that. You know, she also sold out to the Daily Wire. She's also sold out to all sorts of people. She also went after Steven Crowder. She did everything that she could to position herself in the sellout portion of the media. And that's a fact. And no, her investigation is complete bullshit. Total bullshit. Owens didn't come up with this. A reporter already was sued in France and won against Macron, so no way they win in the USA with way more freedom. Is that what happened, though?
Say you work at a Wendy's and someone accuses you of being a white supremacist, defaming you, because there is something repugnant about being a white supremacist. Look, white supremacists out there getting offended. I don't care. Anyway, so your job fires you for this. I will still defend your right to have your job and not be defamed because of your political views outside of working at Wendy's. As a private citizen and not a public figure, you're going to win. Someone defamed you and the job fired you. Now, remember when the Covington kids, homie Nicholas Sandmann standing on the Lincoln Memorial steps, the guy with the drum comes and bangs it in his face. And then all of these outlets started attacking Sandmann, saying he did.
And they won for slander.
Something wrong, reframing the story to say that he got in the face of a Native American and he was a smug little white boy. Well, he sued him. You know what they tried to argue? They tried to argue that he was a limited public figure because he was in the press. Now, it's an interesting argument, interesting play. The play is, we did not bring up his name. His name was already in the press. We simply wrote about someone we saw in a public space.
Andrew, you invited Jake and Rob into the Crucible business circle, but left Jim Bob on the side, and now he's doing Ortho Thugs. What makes you think I didn't invite Jim Bob and he said no? Do you ever think about that?
But that don't cut it. So Sandmann apparently got them to settle for a large sum of money. Why? Because he was a private individual. Now, this actually resulted in threats and damages they could actually cite. They had security costs. They had to hire PR. They had to figure out what to do about how their son was being defended.
It was reversed on appeal. What was the libel? Or I'm sorry, the slander or defamation.
In this regard, you'll be hard-pressed to prove that Bridget Macron had to spend any money to prove she's not a man. You'll also have to prove or argue in court why being transgender is inherently defamatory.
I think that what the tactic that they would argue is that because they're world leaders on the world stage, that this damaged their credibility with the people of the United States via a person who had massive influence over their localized media after being corrected multiple times.
That is my favorite part about all of this. Was this Candace Owens' long con? Her long play? She says, I'm going to single out a world leader, call them transgender over and over again until they're forced to admit it is an insult to call a woman transgender. There is something inherently wrong with
but the left would say that now. They would just say that it's an insult to call people by the gender they don't like. They would. I don't know what you're winning here.
With being trans, I guess the Macrons are arguing. Now, this ain't the first time. In France, you see, this is interesting. They got different laws. From France 24, France's First Lady Brigitte Macron steps up legal battle over gender rumors. She apparently sued, it was like 2 women. So they say the First Lady has taken a case against 2 women over claims she used to be a man. Used to be! Nobody used to be a man. You're a man or you're not. If you get your gimblies chopped off, you're still a man, okay? On Thursday, the Paris Appeals Court overturned earlier convictions against the 2 women for spreading false claims that went viral online that Brigitte Macron, 72.
So they did convict them first, huh?
Used to be a man. No! They're claiming she still is. He still is. Once a man, always a man. You can get breast implants and do drugs and chop off your gimblies, but you will still be a guy.
That's true.
You'll just be a guy with no gimblies.
That's also true.
This information on Macron's gender has circulated on social media for years. Her 24-year age difference with President Emmanuel Macron has also attracted much comment. And then we have this from The Telegraph, the absurd Brigitte Macron conspiracy theory roiling America. Okay, I'm going to say this because I've addressed this before. How brutal is it to be an old woman who's like just ugly and disgusting? And then the whole world says you must be a guy. That's really got to squeeze your heart. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's probably got to hurt. You'd probably think that it's got to be so bad that you could sue people for damages even.
I mean, I couldn't imagine. I don't know if Brigitte Macron is a guy or not. I'm starting to suspect maybe just based on the fact of the way they're reacting. If people post, I get people insulting me all the time saying I'm gay or trans or whatever. There was legit people posting online that I was a trans woman or something like that. I guess it's because like I'm Asian or something. I can't grow a beard. Like that proves it. I don't care. You can call me Susan if it makes you feel better. You don't matter. I love that saying. What other people think about you is none of your business, right? I think Gutfeld brought that up the other day. So if I was a prominent world leader and people were like, I think that Tim Pool used to be a woman, I would be like, okay, sure. Now, if they were calling me a lizard person, I'd be a little more concerned. You can't really sue over being called a lizard person. But, I'd be like, if you genuinely think there are lizard people controlling the world, that's terrifying. Thinking an old lady who looks like a guy might be a guy.
Okay. Well, anyway, so that's the general breakdown, but let's take a look at the actual complaint. Devil's in the details, as they say. So this is Emmanuel Macron and Bridget Macron versus Candace Owen LLC. In March 2024, Candace Owen, a right-wing podcaster, told the world she would stake her entire professional reputation on the fact that Bridget Macron, First Lady of France, is in fact a man. Since then, Owens has used this false statement to promote her independent platform, gain notoriety, and make money. Owens disregarded all credible evidence disproving her claim in favor of platforming known conspiracy theorists and proven defamers. And rather than engage with the president and Miss Macron's attempts to set the record straight, Owens mocked them and used them as additional fodder for her frenzied fans base. 2, Owens didn't stop there. Retaliating against the Macrons for the audacity of sending her a retraction demand, Owens helmed an 8-part podcast series entitled Becoming Bridget and accompanying ex-posts. Throughout the series, Owens and her entities, Candace Owen LLC and Georgetown Inc., endorsed, repeated, and published a series of verifiably false and devastating lies about the Macrons on which this complaint is based. Now, I think he's a lizard person. Fair. These outlandish, defamatory, and far-fetched fictions included that Miss Macron was born a man, stole another person's identity, and transitioned to become Bridget. Miss Macron and President Macron are blood relatives committing incest. President Macron was chosen to be the president of France as part of a CIA-operated MKUltra program or similar mind control program, and Miss Macron and President Macron are committing forgery, fraud, and abuse of power to conceal these secrets. These claims are demonstrably false, and Owens knew they were false when she published them. So it looks like that hinges the claim, right? The hinged claim here seems to be that they're saying these claims are not only false, but they're making the further claim that Owens knew they were false when they published them. So Tim Pool's argument here was this. Hey, you can't prove that she didn't know that. Well, maybe they can prove that she didn't know that. That seems to be the way that they're going here anyway. Yet she published them anyway. The reason is clear. It's not the pursuit of truth, but the pursuit of fame. After being fired from the Daily Wire, Owens used these demonstrably false claims to promote her independent podcast, Candace. Owens' fan base has grown to 6.9 million followers on X and 4.47 million on YouTube. The most popular podcasts in the world have discussed her investigation into the Macrons' history. She launched a revamped website, CandaceOwen.com, fueled by her desire to make these specific false claims about the Macrons without adhering to the content moderation policies. This is nothing new for Owens. She built a brand on provocation, not truth. Owens labels herself an independent investigative journalist while routinely peddling misinformation under the guise of legitimate reporting. So it goes on with various. Okay, what else here? Owens published this series and related ex-post with reckless disregard for the truth. Owens was repeatedly presented with credible, verifiable evidence disproving her claim, including documentation, public records, direct outreach from the Macrons. Instead of correcting the record, she doubled down. At the time, Miss Macron had won French defamation claims against others who pushed these same baseless theories, underscoring both their falsity and defamatory sting. Owens knew this, yet Owens, fully aware of the truth, has not only declined to retract her statement, but actively expanded on them. These lies have caused tremendous damage to the Macrons. Defendants have subjected the Macrones to a campaign of global humiliation, turning their lives into fodder for profit-driven lies. Owens has dissected their appearance, their marriage, their friends, family, personal history, twisting it all into a grotesque narrative designed to inflame and degrade. The result is relentless bullying on a worldwide scale. Every time the Macrones leave their home, they do so knowing that countless people have heard and many believe these vile fabrications. It is invasive, dehumanizing, and deeply unjust. Faced with the relentless and unjustified smear campaign, the Macrones are left with no choice but to seek relief through the court to set the record straight, prevent further harm, and hold the defendants accountable for their conduct. I want to see what the evidences are that they present here. Andrew, I love you, but there are black and white family photos that show only 2 male children. Dude, I'm not even going to engage with that stupidity. I'm not even going to. You can literally debunk all this shit. It just go. Did you ever try, let me try this experiment with you. I'm going to ask you a fucking question, and I want you to be completely honest with me. Okay, Braden Clues? I want you to be totally honest. I don't fucking lie to me. When you watched any of this, did you yourself try to verify the claims? Did you go to a counter source and try to verify if the claims you were making were true or not? Did you actually do that? Or did you just take it at face value? Or did you actually, and you're going to lie to me and say, yes, I went and verified all the claims. I literally just don't believe you, bro. I don't believe you. So let's see what they say is the counter evidences here. That's what I'm looking for. Yes, yeah, right. Fucking liars, dude. Shut up. Just shut up. I don't believe any of you. I just don't believe you. Okay. Here's what they got here. Looks like they have posted various evidences here. Okay. So, factual allegations. Macron rose to power in France, embodying the modern dynamic image of leadership that resonates with many citizens. Macron was born on December 21st, 1977, Amiens, France, in Francois-Nogue. I don't know what that is. Maybe I'm mispronouncing it. A physician and Jean-Michel Macron, neurologist. From an early age, he demonstrated intellectual curiosity. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, on April 13th, blah, blah, blah. An image. Okay, so on April 13th, 53, Miss Macron was born, Brigitte Trogonot, a woman. She was the youngest of 6 children in a prominent chocolate-making family in Amiens. An image of her birth announcement and family photo featuring Miss Macron as a child below. So it looks like they did provide some evidence here. Looks like they provided some evidence. Miss Macron married her first husband in 1974. When she was 21, they had 3 children. A photo from Miss Macron's wedding is below, right here. Miss Macron began her career teaching in Paris. Okay, so they're continuing on with their counter evidences. Yeah, okay, I'll tell you what. I'll open up the Discord and we'll go through. I'll tell you what we'll do. If you guys are confident in your position, I'll open up the Discord and we'll take your claims one at a time. And we'll just see if you guys are fucking lying to me or not. Discord's open. Mr. Enigmatic, let him in the Discord. Give me a channel, please. Get me a channel in the Discord, lickety split, and we'll just see if these guys can actually back up their claims here. So you guys are telling me, no, Andrew, we're not lying. We're not lying. We checked it all out. Now you got your fucking chance to come in and show me your evidence. Show me your actual evidence. Let's see it. And let's see if you actually verified any of it. Now is your fucking chance. Livestream VC. Okay, got it. Let's find out. Can you listen in? You're listening here, you stupid idiot. All right, I'm in the live stream here. Let's find out. Let's find out if any of you fuckers who just talked all your little shit about how you verified all of it actually come in here and show me these verifications. Go ahead. Come on now. Yeah, let's see it. Come on. Tons of people in this room waiting for you guys. Let's see what you got.
Nobody yet.
Yeah, there's not going to be anybody. They're full of shit. They're lying through their teeth. They watched the documentary. They didn't verify any of it. And I'll literally prove it right now if any of them got the balls to actually come in. I'll literally prove it to you. That you're just lying. You're literally just lying that you verified this stuff.
We verified it, Andrew.
Yeah, they verified it. Yeah, let's find out.
Mm-hmm. Remind them that the link to the Discord is in the description, as always.
Yeah, link to the Discord's in there.
Oh, yeah, I guess they can hear me.
Mm-hmm.
How's the best damn chat in the business doing tonight?
Anyway, I'm going to keep reading through the complaint as we wait for people to not show up because they just lied straight to my face. So, okay. Bridget Macron is the target of a vicious conspiracy, right? Around, okay, so they outline this. Now, this is interesting. And this is a pretty pertinent point. Logical question, Andrew. If Bridget has some sort of grounds for suit, why hasn't Michelle Obama brought a suit despite being defamed? Because that was never to the same degree, bro. Ever. Regardless if Candace does, Bridget Macron, yeah, well, who cares? Yeah, I mean, yeah, but so what? Off topic completely, but I'm going to try and nominate you at the next Grifty Awards. Don't give them an inch, not one step back. Also, your wife is based. And just as fun to watch, tear apart bimbos on whatever. Yeah, she's great. She's great. All these guys talking all this shit. Let's see him come in the Discord. Okay, so anyway, Owens did not always, by the way, if anybody is in that Discord who's not muted, they need to be mystery because there's always bleed through. People don't know how to mute themselves. I don't know why.
It's just myself and Matt.
Okay, well then mute yourself, mystery.
Owens getting bleed through?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Owens did not always espouse extreme right-wing ideals. She was born in White Plains, New York, and raised in Stamford, Connecticut. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Following her departure from the university, Owens completed an internship at Vogue magazine, was later hired as an administrative assistant at a private equity firm in New York. 2015, she left the financial sector to start a marketing agency called Degree 180. Website featured a blog that gained notoriety for publishing progressive, anti-conservative, anti-Trump content, the exact opposite of her current views. That's true. That's all changed 2016 when Owens launched the socialautopsy.com website aimed to expose individuals responsible for online harassment by publishing their identities. The project was widely condemned across the political spectrum. Blah, 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 blah. By 2017, she completely flipped political sides, aggressively ramping up her online criticism of liberal ideology and policies through her YouTube channel. She further amplified her voice and newfound point of view to young conservatives through her role as communication director of Turning Point USA, TPUSA. Remember that. Nonprofit organization. 2019, she founded the Blexit movement, which encouraged black Americans to leave the Democrat Party. That's true. Anyway, she's attached herself to Daily Wire, TPUSA, to all these various organizations. But let's see what we get to. Let's see what else we got here. In March 2024, according to the complaint, just prior to her departure from the Daily Wire, by the way, the Discord's open. Just waiting for you guys who you said, hey, you have evidence, and it's really compelling, and that you looked into it. So when you present the evidence, I can't just, debunk it in 15 seconds, right? I guess not. I guess suddenly you're not as sure of that as you were just 10 minutes ago. Isn't that crazy? On March 11, 2024, Owens published an episode of her Daily Wire podcast, Candace Owens, titled Insane. This is the biggest political scandal in human history, which reported on Bridget Macron conspiracy theory that was making its way through the courts in France. Owen was the first to bring this theory to the U.S. media and global audience. That same day, defendants announced in the video in an X post repeating, biggest scandal that's ever happened in politics in human history. She claims she learned about the theory from a 2021 debunked story published by the Daily Mail. Owen falsely claimed the article was recent, despite it being published more than 3 years ago, likely to make it appear that she just happened upon the story rather than searching for a salacious conspiracy to increase viewership. That's going to be hard to prove. In March 13, 2024, Owen released another episode of Candace Owen titled Media Meltdown, France's First Lady Exposed, repeating and expanding the false claims. Okay. What else we got here? Defendants went so far as to create and sell merchandise? Damn. You think a French court document has any credibility? The last time France had any credibility was in the reign of Napoleon. No, that's also just stupid and not true. Owens went so far as to claim the 2024 Olympic opening ceremony, a tribute to Greek mythology, was designed to honor Brigitte Macron because she is transgender. This claim is not only absurd but self-defeating. Owens also insists Macron's biological sex is a state secret, making such a tribute impossible by her own logic. Okay, you guys, you don't really believe this, do you? Like, you guys don't actually believe this. It's a meme. This is a fucking meme. This isn't. You're not supposed to take this shit seriously. Nobody was supposed to take this seriously. Like, do you understand the massive undertaking that it would be for the state of France to cover up that Brigitte Macron was trans? Like, do you have any idea how incredibly complex I mean, you would have to have doctors who were in on it. It would be insane. It's not like compartmentalization. Like, this person would need when Bridget would have supposedly have transitioned. Do you know that, like, medical technology is not what it is now? That was not an easy thing to do. It would have been a significant undertaking to have even done the transition. Then after that was done, the amount of post care that you would need would be insane. That's just crazy to me. Why are you so shocked about this? Look at all the shit this world has done. This isn't a big leap. Yes, this is a big leap. Conspiracies exist, and they exist in the federal government, and they exist in governments all over the world. That's true, but they exist through compartmentalization. This would, this would break all bonds of compartmentalization. Okay? And you're talking about this was not technology the way it is now. This technology really wasn't there the way it is now. Trans surgery has been going on since the 1940s. Yeah, unsuccessfully killing a lot of people. It has, yes. Yeah, that's true. It hasn't. Listen, this is since the. I mean, this technology really began to accelerate in about 2008. Maybe. This was not a technology the way it is right now. Not all trans have surgery. Oh, Lord. So then, is she just you just think she's walking around with a penis then? Is that France almost as bad as Canada? This is just stupid. Like, none of you actually believed this, did you? I mean, you did realize that people were just memeing and talking shit about Macron. You weren't supposed to take it seriously. And yes, the technology was there, Andrew, and my pals did it in the 80s. Okay, well, let's find out. Let's verify your claim, shall we? With a simple Google search, we shall verify your claim that the technology in the 80s was the same as it is now. Let's see. 1980. Let's see. So the vaginoplasty using intestinal tissue wasn't even invented until 74. In 1980s, there was procedures which were established, but the surgical techniques weren't even there. Let's take a look here. Let's see if we can get some technicals on the difference in how it was done. Boy, I'm glad that you can't see this. I would get banned from YouTube. If you just saw the techniques that I looked up, holy shit. They're not great. Vaginoplasties from 74 to 86 were considered fairly unsafe and unstable procedures. Yeah. No shit. So it looks like they got the technology refined through the 90s. Yeah, dude, it was different tech. Come on, man. That was totally different tech. Totally different tech. It's not you couldn't do it. It's rare, but it's just you're talking about different, very different technology. It's hilarious as Macron would have to provide DNA and blood evidence to prove it for their lawsuit. I mean, not really, right? Wouldn't a doctor just have to test her like a neutral doctor they both agreed on? Then that's the end of it, right? Will this Chris 5 convince Andrew to get back to doing the extravaganza? What are you talking about? We just did it today. What are you even talking about? Did you even watch Owen Siri on it? I did, yeah. I did watch it. I thought it was hilarious. Objectively hilarious. And no, the evidence there was not compelling. I'm actually shocked. I didn't think anybody here would think that any of that was compelling. It's a meme, dude. It's a fucking meme. No, you didn't what? Yes, I did watch it. Yes. Yeah, all 5 hours of it. Yes. I even tweeted about it at the time. Let's see. Boom. The December retraction demand reminded Owens. But by the way, you can just prove me wrong by coming in the Discord. You can prove to everybody that I don't know what I'm talking about, and you do. Go ahead.
Still nobody showed up.
Yeah, what a shock. Nobody showed up. You're all so confident in your position, but none of you have shown up.
One dickhead posted a link from ChatGPT, but and then took off.
And then took off.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this goes on to outline. Oh my god, this is like 200 plus pages, but let's see here. This is interesting. Owens initially claimed the photo of Miss Macron, in which she described as a 36-year-old teacher named Bridget, is not actually of her, but of a fictitious Bridget Azur. In doing so, Owens recklessly disregarded the fact that the photographed woman in this picture had the same name as Miss Macron did at the time, 2, had the same occupation Miss Macron had at age 36, and bears a striking resemblance to a younger version of Miss Macron. Owens later admitted that this was false, but she never removed the episode, including this false claim. When Owens realized her claims about Miss Macron's children, that she fathered her children with fictitious Bridget, could not possibly be true, she dropped them, offering no alternative explanation, just a gaping hole. Poor choice of words there. Poor choice of words. She counted on an audience being too captivated or too unquestioning to notice the gap, let alone call her out on it. The reason is clear. Any theory that claims Ms. Macron is not the mother of her children recklessly disregards the striking resemblance between her and her daughters. So, yeah, I don't know. I think you're going to have to supply me with some significant evidence here for a claim like this. Because I feel like I could just debunk 90% of it with ease.